last week you really seemed to like the "Am I in the Wrong" deal that we did.
Yep.
Keeping it PC. So we're going to do another one today. And she has not read this as far as I know.
I have not. I read some other ones, but I have not read this one.
I have not read this one. This one is, am I in the wrong for expecting my wife to support my elderly parents? It's always family drama.
It's always family drama.
So, my wife has a high-paying job and earns significantly more than I do. Okay, so this is in British pounds. We'll just say it's dollars instead of pounds.
Okay.
So,
okay.
My wife has a high-paying job and earns significantly more than I do. I work as a teacher and make around $40,000 a year, while she works in the private sector and makes between $300,000 to $400,000 a year after tax.
Wow.
It's like 10 times more, which is pretty impressive.
Good for her.
We split our finances equitably. That's a big word to say. With her paying 70% to my 30%. A little background, her parents both immigrated to this country so she and her sisters could succeed in life, and now all have very high-paying jobs. One working in tech and the other being a surgeon. Meanwhile, my parents worked government jobs, and my sister lives on benefits, so we are relatively a low-income family. My wife did help my younger sister when she became a single mother at a young age by offering her a secretary job at her office. But my sister quit after a month as she found it too difficult. Recently, her parents retired and she and her sister gave them around $2,000 every month. I think she has 3 sisters plus herself.
Okay.
Which I find ridiculous that they have pensions. I guess her parents also have pensions plus $2,000. Why do they need 2 kids plus $6,000 a month? She assured me this money does not come out of our joint account. Obviously not. She makes a crap ton of money. However, when I brought up my parents were also retired and can use the help, she told me that if I could afford to send it from my own salary, I should. I was shocked and angry. My parents only had me to depend on while her sisters made a lot of money, so her parents would be fine either way. My wife told her her parents sacrificed a lot by moving to this country. It is her responsibility and my parents should be my responsibility. She says I am being a meanie for asking her to support my parents when she has never put pressure towards me for not contributing more to our household. We had a similar argument before about loaning my sister some money to put a down payment on her house. But my wife says she would not use her money as she thinks my sister is unreliable and won't pay her back. She can't hold down a job for more than
that's what I was going to say.
A couple weeks.
Yeah.
And to buy a house. So I just don't understand how she can be so cheap because she earns so much more than me. Am I the meanie or am I in the wrong for asking my wife to support my family? First edit though, first edit. A lot of you are asking why my parents need help when they have a pension. So his parents have a government pension. My dad has Parkinson's. His condition is only going to get worse. My mom isn't strong enough to help with his diapers, etc. The only option is to put him in a care home and separate the two of them because we can't afford a live-in career. I guess like a
live-in nurse.
Yeah, nurse. This is frustrating to me as my wife knows all this and her parents are great health currently. Her offering money would no way break her bank, but would help my parents a lot. I just think she's being selfish because if the roles were reversed, I would help her.
Would he though?
So we'll do the second edit after I get your views about this. And there's quite a few responses that he gave the people because people are, there's more questions being asked than what he talked about in his statement.
I mean, based on the information that I know, my personal opinion, just hearing that information, is that, he and his side of the family have already benefited from her income and her financial status. She's also tried to help family, his sister. Right? His sister?
Gave her a job, but it was too hard to be a secretary. It was too difficult.
So, I personally don't feel as though the wife is necessarily in the wrong. If she felt as though she wanted to help, then I would be gracious, about receiving that help. If I were him, I'd be, very gracious about receiving that help, but I wouldn't expect my partner to take care of my parents.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, but from context, like, I'm looking at it from a view of how he and I live, because we very much, while we are married, we very much live in an independent state. So we both do our own things, and we split things down the middle, or like what they do, they have a 70-30 split because they have different income levels. So, what are your views?
So, yeah, I do agree. It's not her responsibility to take care of his parents. His parents have 2 kids, it sounds like. They have a daughter who lives off of government benefits, so she has no job, no probably health insurance, no life insurance. She lives off of taxpayers. And he is a teacher, which is fantastic by choice, but obviously they don't make much money.
Right.
And he married into a fantastic situation where he married into a family who came over as immigrants who didn't come with much, but they worked very, very hard. One sister is a surgeon. One sister works in a private sector. Well, I'm not sure what that means. A tech or something. And then his wife is, she's a private sector. Yeah, one sister is a surgeon, one something else. And so they all have very high pay, but they probably worked extremely hard for that money. So he sees his wife's family as like this ultra wealthy family. Why don't you want to help out everybody else? Give. You want to hear some updates, though?
Yes.
Updates. So, his last update that he posted, edit number 2. He says, wow, I didn't expect this post to blow up. Just to address the elephant in the room, I can see that I am being a meanie, and I love and appreciate my wife a lot. He was called out a lot for being like, you pretty much have like a sugar mama. You got lucky. So he says, I will speak to my sister about moving in my parents. So,
that puts a huge strain on a marriage.
I'll go ahead and say that in his comments to other people, he never says that him and his wife have talked about this yet. But he's talking about, so his train of thought is, okay, since my wife won't just give them money every month, let me move them in, and then my wife will still support my parents every single month, financially, health-wise, food, shelter. So he's still going to have his wife take care of his parents, just in a different way. So, anyway.
That can be a huge strain.
I'll speak to my parents about moving in my parents. So, however, there is not much I can do about my job. I am almost 48 and work in the PE department at a bad secondary school. I can't just quit and make similar amounts to my wife, who works in private equity and has multiple rental properties under her name, so she invested her money wisely.
Yeah.
This post has been kind of a slap in the face, and I fully expected everyone to tell me that I am not in the wrong, but it turns out that I am. I guess it's been an emotional situation with my father. His health has been declining, and I felt helpless, and when I found my wife can comfortably help her parents, I felt a bit betrayed and hurt. I agree that it's not her responsibility to help, but I've had sleepless nights imagining my dad at a care home reading horror stories, and I guess I just expected my wife to be a bit more empathetic. But I agree that they are my parents, are my responsibility. I've listened to the replies, and I will start looking for remote tutor jobs so I can pick up some slack and bond more with my daughter. There's an update about that within the comment section.
Okay, because that... Okay.
A part of me wants to delete this post so my wife never finds this, because she might be like, I take care of you. But I think it will keep as good reminder for the future. I also like to say my wife has very expensive tastes.
That's okay.
He says, we live in a house that I can by no means afford with my salary. We go on multiple holidays, vacations, which I also chip in. Probably he pays for gas or something. And my wife likes expensive presents, which I have to save up for. Even with my salary, I don't have much in my savings, and that's something I will need to talk to my wife about. So, dude's got no money. He's got no savings.
So, Okay.
Moving his parents. Okay,
Okay.
that's the first topic. He never talks about anywhere that him and his wife have even talked about that.
So I see it as there are multiple things that could very terribly, unfortunately, pull this marriage apart. Number one, money. Money is a huge divider in relationships.
Yep.
And yeah, that one, I mean, I have to say we are very fortunate because we went into our marriage with the expectation.
We were both poor going into the marriage.
Right, but we always split everything down the middle.
Yeah.
Always. We always have. We've never fought about money.
Doesn't matter if I made more time or you made more time, it's still down the middle because the power, the balance of power per se,
Right.
It changes at times,
Right.
you know.
And you know, we help each other out, but that's one thing we have never argued about.
It's
but
money.
Lots of couples do argue about money. So that's like number one. That's a huge one. But then moving his parents in, and it sounds like to me with the expectation that he is going to look for her to support them, she's going to probably have not a great positive reaction to that.
Because if his parents moved in, she'll probably end up becoming the caregiver for his father. Because his mother is probably, because he's 48, so his parents are probably late 70s or 80s,
Right.
where his mother won't be able to, as she said, change the diaper of his father. So who's going to be the one who's going to have to take care of his parents financially and
especially if
personally, hands-on.
If now he's
it'll
going
be
to
the
pick
wife.
up another job to pick up the slack, then he's going to be at school working all day, and then
Who
he's
takes
also
care of the
going to
parents?
he's also going to be with another position. That leaves it on who?
On the wife.
On her.
She brings home the bread and takes care of his parents.
I feel as this could be doomed.
So here's some more information because people asked questions.
Now, where's the child come into play?
Somebody commented, "Dude, what's your excuse for not parenting?" He says, "I do parent my daughter. I'm sorry if one line in a comment made it seem like I'm a deadbeat dad, but that is not the case." So other people said the same thing. What's this one-liner thing? Then somewhere else down here, he does talk about a little bit more. One commenter said, "Info. If she makes 8 to 10 times the amount you do, why do you guys think that you paying 30% is equitable? You should be paying 10 to 15%. So this person's kind of on his side saying, if you make 10% of what she makes, then maybe you should pay less. And if you guys actually did that, maybe you could afford to help your parents like she's helping her. So that put more money in his pocket. But then he's subsidizing his parents' costs onto his wife still.
Correct.
So he says, we do this as she picks up most of the housework and childcare, and she has taken that into account when splitting the bills. So she does all the housework and all the childcare and pays most of the bills and owns the house and everything." So another person comments back, "Why is your wife doing the majority of the housework and childcare? She's also paying the majority of the bills. What exactly do you bring to the table? You seem very entitled for someone who appears to have little to offer." And I kind of do agree.
Well, okay. So before you say somebody has little to offer, you don't know the person and you don't know their relationship. All you know is money and him wanting to help his parents. Him wanting to help his parents, and that the wife does a good amount of the housework and things. That's all we know. So we can't necessarily just jump down the path of,
what do you have to offer?
Yeah, what do you have to... Because he very well may have many things to offer that we're not seeing. Maybe he's very handy around the house and he is able to fix things.
We don't know.
So that's kind of a rude thing to say, is what do you have little to offer, because he may have a lot to offer. Okay, sorry.
So then he commented back, "I also work full-time as a head of department at a secondary school. Just because my job doesn't pay as well, I still have to work a lot of unpaid overtime," because he's salaried as a teacher. I have offered help around the house more, but my wife says she finds cleaning a stress reliever, and our daughter hasn't seemed to bonded with me as much and constantly cries for her mom. And then, like, one other little comment, info, do your parents need help? I get why she didn't want to help your sister, obvious reasons, after she got burnt, but if your parents had government jobs, why wouldn't they have pensions? And he says, they do have pensions, but my dad has Parkinson's and his condition is only going to get worse, and my mom is too old to change his diaper and so on, and he could use a full-time care, which costs a lot. So, comment back, so does their pension make Medicare available? We're in the UK and have the NHS, and healthcare is free, but certain things like in careers not included, or there is a massive waiting list.
Yeah.
Also, my wife's job pays private healthcare for immediate family. That is a very rare thing in the UK, but OFC, my parents are not her immediate family.
Right.
Okay. And then here's somebody asked about the relationship between your wife and your parents. Which is kind of explains a little bit more. Info. I need some backstory. Were your parents ever rude to your wife? Has anything happened in the past that currently makes your wife unwilling to help two elderly people? He responded, from what I can recall, they have all gotten along very well. My wife and I included them in overseas vacations. Your wife included them in overseas vacations.
Yeah.
And I think he meant, and my mom helped my wife a lot after she gave birth. The only thing it could be, there was some coldness when my wife refused to help my sister with the down payment on her house. This caused my sister to lose the house, which I understand isn't my wife's responsibility, but some issues from that side of the family. However, that has all been resolved years ago, and they have a good relationship. Undertones, though.
I hear undertones.
She didn't help out the sister.
I mean, anytime you're asking for help from another it's really hard to loan money to family members, because there is always that not even family members, loaning money to anyone. Personally, I have found that if you're going to loan, we'll call it, you might as well just plan on it's a gift.
Don't expect it back.
Right. And don't come with resentment because they didn't pay you back, because you might as well just consider it a gift. And if they do pay you back, great, wonderful. But that is your decision to, we'll call it loan, gift them money. Because when I look at it, if somebody's going to ask me for money and I decide to help that person, I'm going to consider it a gift, because I may never ever get it back. Mm-hmm. That's my decision to give that person the money, so I might as well consider it a gift.
And the wife said no, because she knows that she'll never get the money back. She won't buy her a house.
She didn't hold down the job that she helped her get.
She lives off of benefits from the government, so she just basically gets food stamps, WIC, and whatever they get in the UK, which probably... So she knew that she'll never see the money again.
Right.
And so his sister lost the house, a.k.a. no bank would loan her anything because she doesn't have any money. So now her family has a little bit of resentment because the sister probably... We're not sure where she lives. Why can't she take in the parents? But...
Yeah.
So...
And it sounds like maybe the daughter is young.
Yeah, like because daughter was mentioned just like twice, just little blurps.
But it sounds like, with the daughter crying for mom, that's it seems to be a young child type of thing where, a lot of times mother-daughter bonds are strong. So it sounds like the daughter might be fairly young.
There's an update that I just clicked. It's a comment I haven't read. It says, your sense of entitlement is vast. You could end up living on your salary if you keep up this attitude. Get a side hustle if you want to support your folks so much. He responds back, I think if it was the other way around, I would definitely help her family too. I believe in a marriage, my money should be our money. So he believes his money's and his wife's money, his wife's money is also his money. I think it is what he meant to say there. Okay,
my personal belief is that is not the case.
No.
You're fortunate to live with someone and be part of a higher income, but I personally do not believe this day and age, your money is my money. My money is your money.
Mm-mm.
That is my personal belief, because
Yeah, I mean, okay, like your mom passed away and left you a sum of cash. That's your money.
Right.
I've never asked for it. I've never expected a dime of it.
Right.
That's your money. I get VA disability every single month from my time in the Army. You know, it's not a lot, but it's some, and I mean, that's my money.
That's
and
right.
You've never said,
Never asked.
give me half of that, because it'd be like, you want my disability? Same way as I don't saying, give me half your mom's, you know?
Right.
So like, it's your money, it's my money. But if I won the lottery, then I'd be like, baby, we are rich.
If it was something that we did collectively together, knowing, okay, I went and bought the lottery ticket, but yeah, it's ours at that point.
Or if I had Google come to me and say, hey, Clint, I want to buy your FranchiseKicks YouTube channel for $5 million. I'd probably say, we're signing off. see you later. But then that'd be our $5 million. Right. I wouldn't say that's just my money. I'd be like, no, it's our money.
Right.
Let's invest it. Let's live our life, and good knowing you. You know what I'm saying? Out.
Oh gosh, wouldn't that be incredible? Jeez.
So this guy needs to get his mind right that his wife is super successful. He's very lucky to be where he's at. That he doesn't matter what job he has, he's taken care of.
Right.
He's taken care of. And he's lucky.
I agree.
And his parents got government pensions, so they're not broke.
And the other thing, the one other thing that I think I would like to touch on this is he talks about the horror of, I think that was
home health care.
I think that's what he said was the horror of his parents or
in like a nursing home.
a nursing home. And, you know, my mom spent a long time in the nursing home. I mean, not as long as some family members stay in there, but it's not necessarily as bad as what you think it is. Now, granted, my mom was in a very nice nursing home facility that took care of her very, very well. But I've been to a lot of other nursing homes, and while, you know, you don't get that individualized care. I'm not going to be there the second that you dirty your diaper or the second that whatever. You're still getting care. And if you care that much about your family member, you're going to be there. And if there's a need that is there, like at the nursing home facility that my mom was at, they only had specific days that they did showers. My mom liked to have showers more frequently, so I would go over almost every night, and I would give her a shower almost every single night, because that is something, it was important to her. In turn, it was important to me. So it's not necessarily a horror story of being in a nursing home. You can have a very good quality of life.
You can. Being
in a nursing home, as long as you are an advocate for your family member. So I just wanted to address that piece of it too, because you could very easily, yes, they might be split up. It happens. It's unfortunate. I've seen many times my grandparents. My grandma was in the Alzheimer's unit. My grandpa was on the outside of the facility.
Mine were the same way.
Yours were the same way.
My grandma was Alzheimer's. My grandpa was in like a different wing where they didn't see each other very much.
Yes. But
they weren't together.
They were you know, in the same building, but they couldn't just go and see one another because the unit that my grandma was on was locked down.
My grandma was locked down because they tend to wander.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So there are lots of people who deal with these types of situations, and there are ways to get through it versus saying, honey, I need your money.
My baby.
Money doesn't...
How much you need, baby?
Money doesn't fix everything. No. A lot of it's just caring about the family members and being an advocate for them. I think that is a huge piece of it, especially when you're in healthcare. Speak up for your family members. Listen to what's going on in appointments. Listen to what's going on in the facility. Be aware. Talk with nurses. Talk with, you know, the heads of the units or the CEOs or, you know, whatever title it is. So you know what's going on. And if you're in the know, your parents are well taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
That's my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, I went on a little tyrant
So
there.
that pretty much wraps it up. So what are your views down below? Comment. What do you think? What would you do? Are you in this kind of a situation? Have you known somebody that was in this kind of situation? How did it turn out for you?
Yeah.
I'd be interested because I did the last video. I read all the comments, so I'll read them again.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks for watching. We'll do this again next week if you like this.
See you later.